section 1.3 deals with the nature of biology. It's a very short section. It's just a few things that we need to cover, and we're going to get into that now. We're going to talk about the two types of research, the two kinds of research, then science and society, and we're going to talk about pure science versus applied science, and lastly, we're going to talk about technology, and you guys know how much I love technology, so... All right, let's first talk about the two kinds of research. Two kinds of research. We have quantitative. What does that sound like? Quantitative. What does that mean? Okay, you hear the word quantity in there, right? What does that have to do with? Numbers. All right. Quantitative research, we're dealing with numerical data. In other words, counts or measurements. 50 grams of this and 25 kilometers here and so on. You're dealing with quantities. You're dealing with numbers, counts, measurements. This uses the International System of Measurement. Uses the International System of Measurement that we call the SI. So SI units are what we use here, like meters and kilograms and so on and so forth. And here we go. Meters, gram, liter, and second. What does meter refer to? Meter? Oh, I'm sorry, one more? Celsius. Okay, what does meter refer to? What kind of a measurement are we talking about? Length, right? Okay, or distance. Yeah, that's the same thing, right? Grams, what does that refer to? Weight. What about liters? What about liquid? Volume of liquid. What about second? Time. What about Celsius? Temperature. So you can fill those in here. Meter refers to length, gram, weight, liter, volume, second, time, and Celsius would be temperature. So the first kind of research is what kind of research? Quantitative. What type of research is it? Quantitative. The second kind of research would be descriptive. What did you say? No, you said something. What did you say? Qualitative. That is exactly the same thing. So yes, you are right. Descriptive research uses written descriptions of what a scientist observes. For example, if you're talking about animal behavior, when I was where was I, in grad school? When I was in grad school, yes, I took a class in animal behavior. And one of the labs for that class, what we had to do is we had a hamster in a, yes, my brain is going blank. A hamster in a cage, and you had one of the spinning wheels, and what we had to do for 15 hours, we had to sit down and write everything that the hamster did. Oh, it was extremely boring. So you're just sitting down there, and you're saying, the hamster is standing still. The hamster is still standing still.
It really is right?
No, seriously. The hamster is walking to the wheel. The hamster is running on the wheel. No, not 4 hours. 15 hours. Oh, I know, right? So you would say at 2:15, hamster starts running on the wheel. At 2:20, hamster is still running on the wheel. The hamster is going to the right corner of the cage, and now he's sitting there. Ooh, the hamster is eating. Doesn't that sound very exciting to you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that was... It was a good thing I didn't have a gun right then. I'd shoot my brain out or something. 15... Well, we didn't have to do it. We didn't have to do it in one shot. But in total, it had to be 15 hours. So we'd spend 3 hours just watching the hamster.
Did I be listening to music and watching TV while the hamster's just sitting?
No, we couldn't do anything. We didn't want anything to distract the hamster. So we just had to sit there and watch.
As if that's not distracting.
That would be awesome if the hamster died. The hamster died. The hamster is still dead. 2 hours later, it's still dead. That's what we should have done. We should have poisoned it, right?
Cause of death, spontaneous combustion.
I don't know what a Geyser is.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know. It just exploded. I don't know. Maybe it was a firecracker. I don't know. All right, let's move on. So the two types of research, number one was what? Quantitative, and number two was descriptive. And you can just tell by the names what they are, all right? So science and society, let's talk a little about that. Ethics. Ethics. Ethics are the moral principles and values that are held by humans. Those are your ethics. And society plays a vital role in determining what is ethical or not when it comes to science. I'll give you an example. Stem cell research. There's a huge debate going on about stem cell research, whether it should be done, whether we should use aborted babies, and so on and so forth. That would be something that society has to decide, and there are people that are involved in this so that we can decide what is ethical, at what stage can you use stem cells, and what stage is it unethical to use stem cells, when is it ethical to get them, when is it not ethical to get and use them for research. Now let's talk about the realm of science. Science does not answer all questions. I'm sorry, if you think you came in this class and you're going to get every answer, unfortunately, science can't do that. Biology can't do it. Physics can't do it. Any science cannot do it. For example, we can't use science to determine luck, or whether something is ugly versus beautiful, whether it's good versus evil. These are concepts that you really can't scientifically test. All right, so you must be able to devise a controlled experiment. You must be able to devise a controlled experiment. Let's see if you remember the two groups that you have in a controlled experiment. What's the first group? Control group. That's the easiest one to remember. And I guarantee you this question is going to be on the test. Well, I almost guarantee you it's going to be on the test. What are the two groups in a controlled experiment? Well, the first one is in the question. What's the first one? Control group. And the second group would be? Experimental group. Good job. All right, so we must be able to devise a controlled experiment. Now let's talk about the difference between pure science and applied science. Pure science is mainly for the purpose of getting knowledge. So you're doing this mainly for the purpose of understanding something or getting knowledge about a system. For example, if you're studying the human eye, or you're studying vision, you're studying how the rods and the cones inside the eye process the light that's coming in. That is pure science. It's just for the sake of getting knowledge. And then we have applied science, and that has immediate application for daily living. Okay, so pure science is just for the getting of the knowledge. For example, studying the eye. Applied science has immediate application for daily living. For example, designing glasses. Okay, you're studying what's the right way to design the lens and how's a more efficient way of designing the lens or so on. That is applied. Why is it applied? Because now I can take that and it has an immediate application. I can wear my glasses and I can see better. Does that make sense? Do you understand the difference? Okay, sweet. Now, what is technology? Of course I had to put an iPhone on there. Come on, guys. You know me. There are two options. Android? What's that?
Android 2.
Android? What is that?
That's like an iPhone wannabe.
Yeah, I'm saying,
Hey,
what are you? Uh-oh, we're about to start a fight in here.
Droids.
Okay, let's not get too violent. You know, for those of you that are still using Android, I understand you want to live in the 90s and so on. That's fine. I'm sorry. I don't want to start a controversy in here. iPhone. Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Did you just say let's break his iPhone? Get out of my class, sir.
Droid 2 is way better than that.
You see what I started? I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get us into this whole argument. Just accept it. iPhone 4 is better. Let's move on. All right.
Droid 2.
Okay, let's get back to biology. Let's do that and forget about the iPhone versus Droid, even though we know that the iPhone is better. All right, let's move on. All right. What is technology? Oh man, if I post this online, I could imagine there will be like a whole argument about that. All right. So, what is technology?
You get more views.
I would get more views, wouldn't I? For anyone out there in cyberspace that is listening, what is the conclusion that we're giving them?
Android software is way better than iPhone.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Android has more
If you are out there, let's give them a message. People in cyberspace, if you are out there and you have an opinion on this, you can post it in the comments. That's good enough, right? And we'll see how the argument.
Droid better.
We'll let it for the people to discuss online, and we'll see how that goes. So, what is technology? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to start all of that. Let's get back together now. What is technology? Well, when we're talking about technology, it's simply the application of scientific research to society's needs and problems. All right? So everything that you see that's technological, I have my iPhone here that I'm using to control my presentation. I have the projector. All these different things, it's a result of a lot of scientific research. And of course, it helps to solve society's needs and problems. That's why if you have an iPhone 4, there are no problems or anything of that sort. Unless you hold it in the wrong way, right? Okay. Okay, so a recap quiz. This is to see if you paid attention to everything that we've done. Question number 1, what are the steps of the scientific method? Number 1, you start with an observation. Leads you to ask a question, and then you do what? Hypothesis, and then you? Experiment, and then you?
No, you do it.
Results. You get results and you interpret your results. If they support your hypothesis, then you state a conclusion. If they do not support your hypothesis, then you have to make a new hypothesis. Good stuff. What are the two groups in a controlled experiment? All right, good. What are the two types of research? Research. Quantitative and descriptive. And which is done mainly for the purpose of gaining knowledge? Pure science or